Hi, this is Tim Hadley with another installment of our Heights Baseball podcast. We're here in February. We're in the midst of our winter workouts, but we wanted to take a chance to kind of speak to the past couple of weeks of what's been going on with the Heights baseball team. It's been a lot going on. Brian has announced that he will be stepping down at the end of the year. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that, Brian, and why you decided to do that?
Yeah, thanks, Tim. I thought about it over the Christmas break, and a couple of opportunities have sort of presented themselves outside of the Heights in the last, I would say, 6 months or so. And talking about it with my wife, talking about it with just a bunch of different people, I kind of came to the conclusion that I wanted to pursue some of those things. I'm going to start a business centered around some of my writing. For those who don't know, I have sort of, I guess, a side writing career. It's nothing terribly substantial yet, but I do. There is some work I've been doing for some publications. So I decided that I really wanted to pursue that, and basically, baseball and the writing don't really work hand in hand. In other words, I really don't feel as though there's time to adequately do both. So I just came to the conclusion that, at the end of the year, I was not going to do baseball anymore. It was a tough decision, but, I kind of weighed it like, which would you know, 20 years from now, which would I rather sort of look back on? And I really decided that I wanted to give this thing a go. So we'll see.
But you will still be teaching at the Heights in next year.
Yeah,
and
next
everything
year I'll
like
be
that.
teaching at the Heights. I'm hoping to get a business going, and I don't know where that will go. But I will still be teaching at the Heights. I guess what I'm doing is switching part-time jobs, if that makes any sense.
hmm Now, are you anticipating that this will be the end of Brian Crocio coaching period, or like
um,
that? The career of coaching is over.
wow, it's definitely not a retirement. I'm only 37, I guess. So I suppose, yeah, I could come back down the road. I wouldn't close the door on that. I don't think it will be for a few years.
And would that be at the Heights or elsewhere, or?
Well, that's a tough one too. I don't know. I wouldn't close the door on either. I wouldn't close the door on maybe coming back to the Heights somewhere down the line. If the vacancy were to ever become available again. It could be anywhere. It would be depending on the situation, but I don't think it will be for a few years.
hmm Now, would you ever want to come back in an assistant role? I mean, I'm looking for an assistant.
Probably not. Probably I don't want that to sound rash or sort of arrogant or anything, but I think that I'm best suited in the head coaching role. If I were to be an assistant, it would likely be at a higher level,
Mhm.
if that makes any sense.
Okay. Well, we've had other news the past couple weeks. We've had our winter workouts, and Florida's really kind of been set in stone.
well, for now, yes, Florida is set in stone.
Well, the fact that we're going is set in stone. The place
Yes.
where we're going has changed a little bit.
Yes.
We will be going back to Dodgertown as the Cocoa Expo, our former home of, I believe, 14 years. Had a couple things change with them. Why don't you tell us about that?
Yeah, well, I don't totally know everything. I guess I'll briefly tell you what I do know. Around when we first got back from Christmas break, I began to have my suspicions as some phone calls and emails and such weren't being returned. And I called around. I finally got in touch with somebody down there
At the Cocoa Expo.
at the Cocoa Expo, yes. And he said to me on the phone, he said, "Well, we're still open for now." And that kind of went ding, 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 ding. It's like, this is a problem. And within the next couple days, I got a phone call saying that that I guess the Cocoa Expo, what they told me was that they had not obtained permits to service spring training baseball. So I had already sort of been in the works with Dodgertown trying to figure something out as soon as the thing went south with Cocoa. So in reality, I'm okay with this in the sense I think the Dodgertown facility is very good. I think that with a smaller group this year, it actually may work better, and I'm okay with it. It was a bit stressful, I would say, for a few days, and I hope I didn't stress anybody else out. But we're good to go. I hadn't paid the deposit on the flight, which I'm glad I hadn't done because we cut the trip back a couple days, and we ended up essentially, not losing any money on the deposit for the flight. So it's worked out. It's ended up working out all right. Okay. So we're good to go. We're going to Vero. I sent out the itinerary today. I apologize for it being a little late this year, but there were a couple of snags, messed some things up. But we're good to go.
Okay. And you said that they're cutting the trip a little shorter. You mentioned there's a smaller group, and it's mostly underclassmen at this point right now, or
it's a very young group, which I'm excited about, just because I think that those guys are going to get a lot out of the trip. They're going to get a lot out of sort of an intense week of baseball, and we're going down there to get ready. There's a decent combination of older guys, and we'll get them ready to play that next week. We start right away when we get back, so we'll have those guys who go down ready to play.
Okay. And we've started, this is our third or fourth year doing winter workouts? Something like that. It's around 3 or 4 years. I'm not exactly sure the exact number.
In the morning.
Yeah, exactly. Morning winter workouts.
Yeah.
Where we, all you parents with 6 a.m. carpools are very pleased, but
right.
we get to the gym at about 6:45 and we run through about an hour 15, hour 20 worth of workouts. And why don't you tell us about those groups this year? We've had a very large showing this winter.
Yes. As I said on a number of occasions, we have more people than we have space or coaches, and that's a good problem to have. I counted the other day 28 players that were at the workouts, and it's tight, it's cramped, but the interest in Heights baseball is great. I mean, there's a lot of kids who are interested, and there are a lot of kids who are coming out to play, and if you can get 28 guys at a school this size for a 6:45 a.m. off-season workout in February, that's not bad. Mm-hmm. I think that's, if anything, if talking about the whole leaving and moving on to other things, if that's sort of something that we've done here in the time we've been coaching, then that's a good thing. The interest and the quality of player, and so Heights baseball I think is in good shape. We're going to be a little younger this year, but this program's in pretty good shape.
To give us an idea of what an average winter workout would be in years past, how many kids would come to a winter workout in years past?
I would say I'd say if you got to 20, you would think it's a good day. You might have the high teens, depending on. There's some variables. For example, there could be a wrestling match.
Winter sport participation.
Yeah, there's a winter sport participation, and I suppose this year there aren't as many guys participating in a winter sport, but all those factors involved. 28 guys still wake up early. 28 guys. Guys have been on time. Guys have been. It hasn't been. Guys have been there to work. And one of the things too I've noticed is we haven't had to yell at guys to pick things up or to get moving. It's been really smooth, and the attitude has been great so far. So I've been really happy with that. It's been better than it has been in years past.
Despite being cramped, I would say we're getting a lot of work done, a lot of
right.
stuff done.
Yeah, we kind of rotated between conditioning, fundamentals. One of the things with the gym is you are confined. You can't get out there and really sling the ball around. So a lot of mechanics, a lot of footwork, and it can be laborious. Baseball is not meant to be on a 40 by 90 foot surface inside. So you get done what you can inside, and hopefully these guys, when we get down to Florida, their muscles will be in shape, and we'll be able to hit the ground running. That's sort of the goal. The goal of the winter is to get into shape. The goal of the early practices in Florida is to get into baseball shape.
Mm-hmm. Now, I have to finalize the final details with Coach Fritz and Coach Pacious, but for players who are doing local trips during Crush Day week, there will be some practices
Yes.
just to kind of keep up with everybody. I mean, because like you
Yep.
said, we start, varsity has their first game the Monday after Crush Day week, and Double A is the following week.
Yes.
So I'll finalize the details and have those up on the website and our Twitter feed and our Facebook pages, etc.
Yes. One of the things that has occurred during my tenure is the Heights Baseball has added Twitter. Okay, you can now follow Heights Baseball on Twitter at Heights Baseball. That is an innovation I take full credit for. And there are other sort of social networking, and there's the website, and there's all sorts of ways that you can stay involved and keep up to date on the latest and the greatest with the Heights baseball team. So check those out. But yeah, as far as those workouts, the week we're in Florida, yeah, I think that there's some guys who who are staying local and should work on getting themselves in shape. I agree with that.
All right. Well, Brian, you got anything else? Please.
No, I'll just say that it's really been this upcoming season will be my 10th season, and it's really been a blessing to be a part of Heights baseball, and I've really enjoyed just every part of it. I have to admit that even now and again I have some really I'm giving this up thoughts, and I'm going to miss it, but and people have been very supportive. We've obviously had some real good times, the last couple of years with state titles and such, and other things as well, just meeting people. But there have been a lot of good times. But there have been some bad times too, as you know. There have been some tough things. There have been some, and, people have been supportive in both good and bad times. People have really been helpful, and that's players, coaches, parents. I can't thank everybody here by name, but if you're listening and you had a part in this and had a part in contributing to the Heights baseball team, I mean, I would like to thank you for all your support. And but we're not done yet.
Yeah.
We're going to get after it. And if you look at that schedule, it's pretty tough. So that's all.
Well, we'll be sure to have some more podcasts in the not so distant future.
Yes.
Until next time. See you.
All right.